Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. You know, a layout is never really done, and mine is certainly no exception. I am going to start working on one of the sections that I've been looking forward to working on for a long time, and that is sort of my coaling or sort of dump station. That's all through here, this whole area that's in black. I plan on putting some track through here. I've got my 397 coaler, I've got my 97, I've got my little 456 over here too, with a nice little dumper, but something's missing. Well, what's missing is my latest edition from one of the last train shows, and this is a 497 coaling station. So I'm looking forward to adding that to the layout. Now, typically accessories don't come with a ton of really rare and unusual sort of variations, but there are exceptions, and I've got two of those for you today. The first is basically, I think, a pre-production sample, which is fantastic, and you gotta check it out. The other is a factory error that you just gotta see. That is coming your way. The 497 coaling station was introduced in 1953 and was available until 1958. The advanced and consumer catalogs showed the engineering progressions to final production. The advanced catalog shows a more crude structure with flaps located near the loading bins to keep coal from spilling out. Wish they had kept those. The consumer catalog showed the station essentially as produced. Amazingly, the 497 coaling station was never cataloged pictured with the front of the station, just the back. The front has Lionel across the facing. There are a few photos of pre-production mock-ups, but they are shown with just black across the facing, not having the Lionel name punched into the steel sides yet. Here is the 497 I plan on putting on my layout in action. So when you unpack the 497 coaling station, what you get is you get the station, you get your envelope, you get an instruction sheet, and you get a bag of coal that goes along with it, as well as a controller. So let's take a little peek here. So we've got our instruction sheet, we'll pull off to the side. We are going to be using a little bit different coal today just because this is some of the original coal, which is basically just pieces of broken up bakelite that is black. I'll pour some out into here. It's little crunchy pieces. They're really, some pieces are big, some pieces are tiny. It's going to be a little bit messier. So for right now, we're just going to use these little guys, which are basically just beads. I put a few colored ones in here so you can actually kind of maybe see the action of the unit. So I have some loaded into our little coal dump. So the way that this thing works here, it's got a couple different parts. The first is when you bring your car in that you're about to unload, it does have where it has a few buttons where it says dump here, and this dump, when you press that, will unload your car. Now this particular car can't seem to get to work, and that's just the nature of what we do here. I'm going to work on it eventually, but when I press dump on the switch, then it should dump the contents into your tray like that. Now, once your contents or the coal is in the tray, you have where the controller says up or down. In this case, we're going to be moving our controller like this, up, and it will bring the tray of coal into the coaling station. Makes lots of great noises, and then we'll dump it into the receiving bin. Perfect. Now once it's dumped, then you do the down on the controller, and it'll bring your tray all the way down. Perfect. And then you'd have a new coal car you bring in and say, okay, here we go. And then there is, on the other side from dump, is the load button. And then when you press the load button, it dumps your coal into your car. Pretty cool stuff. Coming up are two amazing 497 stations. The first is believed to be a pre-production sample with a yellow painted superstructure, and the second an unusual factory error with the Lionel lettering reversed on the superstructure. Let's take a look at these two very special 497 coaling stations. And yes, gonna take a real close look at this guy. So what I have here is a pre-production or early, very early version of the 497 coal loader. Okay. And what makes this special is that normally this is red painted with the punch outs here that says Lionel in white with the paper from the backhand. Okay. What's also really neat is this particular one has an orange roof, which is unique, which is really cool. But again, the real showstopper here is this yellow paint, which is just absolutely cool. It's seen better days, has some scratches on the paint, but it's just so neat. Green base and all these pieces. So this is really a cool piece. I really like seeing this, and we're going to explore these even more. I'm going to show you some great pictures. So this is a fantastic example of a factory error 497 coaling station. You take a look at this piece and you're saying, hey, something's just not right. And you look at it and you say, wait a minute, the lettering looks a little off. It still says Lionel, but this is sort of a reverse or a mirror image of the lettering. It says L-E-N-O-I-L, which basically is Lionel backwards, and that's just fantastic. I'm going to take the top off here so it'll be a little easier to sort of show you that this is a piece that you just can't make. And the reason for that is the way that it was made. This right here is an example of the original sort of correct superstructure sort of format. And you notice how it has L-I-O-N-E-L. And this lettering is actually punched into the steel. Now, to make this, what would happen is this would be basically unpainted steel. It would have been punched with the holes as well as the Lionel, and then it would have been placed on sort of a metal bending sort of jig. It may have been one or two steps. But what they would have taken is normally this piece would have sat in the jig and then it would have bent the sides down as well as it would have bent across the front these smaller sections right through here, and then once it was bent it would go to paint. So this particular piece essentially was put in as a blank piece of steel once it had been punched, but it was put in upside down or backwards, and then these pieces would have been folded this way, this would have been folded that way, and these would have been folded the other way to create the mirror image of the L-E-N-O-I-L. That would have been on that's on this particular superstructure. This is an absolutely fantastic factory error that, again, you just can't make, because if you were to take this piece, unfold it, and try and refold it to original specs, I just don't see being able to do that and then made the way that Lionel made it. This is just a fantastic example of a original factory error 497 coaling station. Absolutely amazing. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this kind of thing, hey, like and subscribe. There's way more coming your way. If you like post-war Lionel Trains and you like the rare and oddball stuff, well, you've come to the right place. Check out the catalog. There's everything from dealer displays, rare paper, mock-ups, prototypes, you name it, it's all in here. Please have a chance to check it out if you'd like to do so. You know, I don't do this type of stuff alone. I certainly have some friends and fellow collectors that have been gracious enough to open their collections to me and allow me to come in and film and really explore the fun and fascinating things that they've had a chance to acquire. And I like to share those things with you. So, as always, thanks for joining me on Brian's Train Room.
Look at her streak along the rails. It's a Lionel.